This is the video kit I use for paid client shoots. It's the gear that I've used to build my video business so far, and also the gear that I'm trusting to carry me into the new year and to continue to provide excellent results for paying clients as I grow my business. I want to walk you through exactly what gear I've chosen, why I've chosen it, and what I look for as I'm building out my kit. So right off the bat, let me tell you a little bit about my philosophy and how I approach choosing and buying gear for real client work. First off, I'm not necessarily just chasing specs. I'm operating within the constructs of my budget. Like I've said, the entire goal of this video production business is to be able to make money and provide for my family while at the same time still having a creative outlet that I enjoy and love. So I'm not just buying the fanciest, the newest, the most expensive stuff out there. I take time to figure out what my needs are and how I can achieve my goals without spending tons of money. The things that I really prioritize are reliability, quality, speed, flexibility, versatility, and the ability to capture beautiful images as a solo operator. So when I look at new gear, when I think about new purchases, those are the filters that I begin to process gear selection through. Is this going to be reliable? Is it going to produce a beautiful image? Am I going to be able to use it and deploy it quickly when I'm just working by myself, which is the majority of the time? Is it flexible and versatile? Can it adapt to a number of different situations? If you're a freelancer, you know every shoot looks a little bit different. One day you're shooting outdoors, the next you're shooting in a room with big backlit windows, the next you're shooting in a beautiful controlled studio. So you have to have equipment that can adjust to different clients and different scenarios without needing a monstrous kit and all this extra money tied up in gear that you only use in really niche circumstances. So let's talk camera bodies. I always have two camera bodies on me. The FX30, which you see right here, and the A7 IV, which is the camera that I'm shooting on. I love that they're both Sony, love that they operate in the same ecosystem, means colors match really well. I carry two bodies, one for redundancy's sake, but two because the majority of the time when I'm doing interviews, which is a large part of the work that I do, two camera setup really helps elevate the footage just a little bit. And then I usually build out both of those cameras. The FX30 that's right here on the table stays pretty much built out exactly like this all the time. This is sort of my main handheld rig. This is the Sigma 24-70. I'll talk about lenses here in a little bit. That kind of lives on there unless I'm switching it out for some reason. But then as I build this out, I use the top handle, usually with a shotgun mic, side handle. This is a Portkeys LH7P monitor on a magic arm, tentacle sync, which sometimes I use, sometimes I don't, but generally I leave this one on this camera, and then it's usually on a V-mount battery attached to the rails or the rods down below. That's generally kind of the way I like to build this camera out. This will be my main cam. That way I can have audio straight in through the top handle if I'm doing an interview setup or if I'm doing a lot of handheld work. This has a nice weight to it. It's well balanced. It's easy to kind of use for handheld work to get sort of that handheld but not too shaky look that I use. My only complaint about this camera is the crop sensor. If I had had the money at the time, I would have loved the FX3 instead, but given the budget constraints that I had, this was kind of the next best thing for me, which is why I went with the FX30. And in all honesty, it really does 95% of the job, right? It's sort of nitpicking, but I will say the crop sensor and not having that second high base ISO of 12,800, the second base on this camera is 2,500, has been a bummer at times. One, it would just be nice to have the ability for one of these two cameras to kind of be able to see in the dark like the FX3 does, but two, having the crop sensor means with a lot of my glass, I'm not getting the full field of view that I would like. And so that, you know, you can work around that. You just have glass a little wider than what you're gonna need, and you do the 1.5 times crop calculation on that. But in a perfect world, I would have loved the FX3. The A7 IV is actually my first professional body that I ever got, and I used it originally a lot for photography. I used to do a lot of stills work, we shoot some weddings, a lot of corporate events, and then as I transitioned into videography, shoots great video as well, as hopefully you're seeing on this YouTube video. But these two cameras, they match up pretty well. The color is slightly different between the two. Usually I have to change the green magenta shift just a little bit to get the two to match, but generally speaking, it's pretty small tweaks. Colors match nicely, cameras are easy to work with, been happy in the Sony ecosystem. So those are the two bodies that I use. So now let's talk lenses. These are the lenses that are in my kit, plus the one I'm filming on my Sony A7 IV. I have the Sigma 24-70 that's right here on my FX30. That was the first lens I ever got. It's sort of your go-to, do-it-all, covers all the bases, classic lens that everybody seems to have. That lens gets used quite a bit, especially in more run and gun documentary type settings, just because of the versatility. Having that 24-70 range, 2.8, it's a great lens. It looks good. It's easy to use. That's what that lens is. This is the Sony 70-200. This is the f4, the G version. So this is also a macro lens, which is kind of helpful. You know, I bought this for a specific project when I was filming out in Uganda a couple years ago. I knew I needed something telephoto, and so once again, that was the same time I got the FX30. If I had the money, I would have loved to get the G Master version, the 2.8, but I just didn't, so I got the FX30 and I got the G version, the f4. So once again, it's a great lens. Honestly, I don't use it for video work very much. Occasionally I will pull it out for photo work. If I'm shooting a wedding or some kind of corporate event where I need to be able to reach a stage, that's where I'll pull this out, but it doesn't come out of my kit a ton for video work, but it is nice to know that I have the range if I need it. Now in the Sigma glass, I have two Sigma primes. I have the 24-1.4 that this is being shot on right now, and then I have the 85-1.4 right here. Now for most corporate interviews, those are the two lenses that I'm using. I'm using the 24-1.4 here on my A cam. I'm using the 85-1.4 on my B cam. And I honestly really love the look of these Sigma Art primes. I think they do a really good job of creating a clean and beautiful image. The 85 in particular still has really beautiful bokeh. I've loved the look out of this lens. And in fact, actually, I did a spec video for some friends, I don't know, a year or two ago, and specifically the image that came out of this lens on my B cam caught the attention of a videographer friend they had, who actually brought me on to do some work for him just because he loved the way this looked, asked who shot that for them. They told me, so you know what I mean? All that to say, they're affordable prime lenses, but they have a really beautiful look and they still have an image that can stand out. So really happy with those two lenses. This is also Sigma. This is a contemporary lens. This is the 16-28, 16 being my widest that I have. So I will use this if I need something really wide. This I actually kind of use mostly for like YouTube vloggy type stuff. It doesn't come out a ton on professional work. And then these three lenses right here are the newest lenses that I bought. I've made a video about them on this channel, but these are the Dizio Vespid primes. I have the 21, the 50, and the 90 macro. So I really love these lenses. It's been a ton of fun diving into the cinema lens world and diving into PL mount, and when projects allow me to, or when I'm able to kind of make the project fit the lens, I love to use the 21 and the 50, even for interview setups on my A cam and my B cam. The 21 definitely has a little bit of distortion, so you do have to be a little careful about that. If you have too many straight lines towards the edge of the frame, you know, that is a little bit noticeable, but if you can get away with that look, it's awesome. The 50 is really clean for these lenses, looks beautiful, and then the 90 macro just kind of opens up a whole nother world of possibilities. It's great on a B cam if we're not going to be locked off, we're going to be handheld just to get some of those detail shots. So really fun three set of lenses. I'm learning a lot as a filmmaker getting to use these, and I think there have been times where clients have been impressed to see these pulled out even if they don't really know what they're talking about, and that's been a win for me as well. So the final lens here at the end of the table, I bought this just kind of for fun a little while ago because it was cheap. This is the Helios, the 44-2 that so many people have. Really fun lens. I've never used it on a paid shoot. It's sort of just something I've used for fun, both for photo and video, and it's just a great little lens to mess around with. So I would love to incorporate it in real work at some point. But to be honest, I've just never quite felt confident pulling this out on a paid shoot and trusting that I'm going to be able to nail a focus and get the image that I want. Probably need to spend more time playing with it, but those are the lenses that I own. Those are the lenses that I rely on. So let me quickly walk you through the other accessories I keep in this Pelican case, which also hold all of my lenses. Now, everything in this case is either camera or lens related. So right on the top here, I have my tentacle sinks. This is one other tentacle sink for the B cam that I'm filming on right now, and that also has a tracking pack in it that I'll use if I need a third lav. My first and second lav, I have the Rode Video Pros. I think that's Wireless Pros, the Rode Wireless Pros. Two of these, which I do love. These are great little pack 32-bit flow, and they also are capable of time code. So if I need to, I can have 3 cameras running time code at once. Great to have those in there. I have an extra V-mount already in here and charged up right here in front. This is my matte box, which I'll throw sometimes on this camera if I need ND, or if I need to flag off the sun for some reason. Keep that right there. I have a little color checker right here. I have spare SD cards. I have a Sharpie. I have my PL to E mounts tucked away in here. These are my variable NDs, the magnetic freewell ones that go on my different lenses. I keep a power bank in here along with extra Sony batteries with any what are these, MPF, with extra MPF batteries. I usually keep on this side of the case one small little light as well. This is an RGB 60 watt light. This thing is pretty cool. This is from Zion. It comes in handy just when I need a little catch, a little pop, a little fill, something like that. It's just nice to have this in here, and I can run that off of that power bank or off of one of my V mounts that I keep in here. So that's great to have on hand. And then in these two cases, kind of right here in the middle, this one is all of the camera kind of rigging equipment for my Sony a7 IV. So I keep my second monitor right here in the middle. I also have handles, I have cables, USB-C, HDMIs, D-taps, extra handles, top handles, everything kind of I need if I do want to rig up that second camera body so that I have two sort of handheld rigs. That's what I keep in that case right here. And then in this one, this is sort of all of my charging cables. So I have 4 USB-C cables in here. I have tape for laving people up if I ever need that. I have a power bank that I can plug into the wall so I can charge 4 USB-C, 2 USB-A all at once on set. Super nice to have. You know, I have a little multi-tool that I keep in here. So just extra accessories that I might need on set, either for charging, laving, or handling miscellaneous things. I also keep a rain cover in here, just in case it's raining and I need to be filming. This is helpful to kind of go over one of my bodies and allow me to continue to film. All right, let's talk lights. This is the lighting kit that I've built. Some of this I would say is fundamental. Some of this I would say is a little bit extra, but I bring all of it on almost every paid shoot that I go on because of the opportunity, the possibility, the flexibility, and the versatility that it provides me. So the two lights for me that are kind of absolutely fundamental are these two. Most of this is actually, this is all nan light, as you can see. So this is the FC500B and the FC300B. I love having two powerful key lights, a 300 and a 500. For a while, I just had the 300, and it can definitely do the job, right? Like if you can only have one light, you have a small budget, the 300 is a really great way to go. It's a perfect key. It can give you beautiful light. It's usually strong enough for almost any indoor setting that you're gonna be in, unless you have to really overpower some windows, some outdoor exposure. And that's where the 500 really comes in. If I'm shooting outside or if I'm shooting in a room with a bunch of windows in the background and I need a ton of output, having the 500 on hand has been awesome. So having both the 300 and the 500, I see those as like the two kind of foundational lights in my kit, and then the other stuff is gravy. So right here, this is the FC120C, so full RGB color, and I almost always use that with the projector mount. This is the 36 degree. I'm actually using it right now. You can see on the wall behind me, and that's just something that's really fun to have creatively. And I have found that having that projector mount has at times differentiated me in a client's mind as somebody that they want to hire and bring back, because I can bring that extra level of creativity. So it's a really fun light to have and play around with the projector and the combo. Not totally necessary, right? I got this a little later on, but I have found that clients actually, in the right circumstances, do really enjoy that. Or if I'm not gonna use the projector mount, having the 120 just as a hair light, or, you know, as sort of some room fill, something like that is really great. So the other thing that I invested into are these tube lights. You can see two of them kind of here and here, but these are the Nanlite, the Pavo tubes, the 60Cs. These things are awesome. I have 4 of them. I absolutely love them. I pull them out whenever I can. I just think they're a ton of fun. I think they look great. And once again, kind of like the projector mount, not absolutely foundational, but at the same time, clients love when you can pull these out and do creative things with them. At least that's been my experience. So I think for me, they paid dividends. They certainly paid myself back for them. But I love having those on shoots. Those have been really fun lights. I do have a couple other small lights that I don't have with me right now that I've shown in other videos. I just showed that 60 watt RGB Zion light. I have another 100 watt Zion light that I keep in my Tough Built Stack Tech drawers. There's a video I've made on that that's nice to have as well. So, but generally speaking, what you see on the table right here are the lights that I really rely on for paid client work to be able to do the job, to be flexible and versatile enough to tackle any situation, whether indoor or outdoors. So continuing on with lighting, we're now talking light modification, and these are the tools that I have and I use. This is just a small rig, normal softbox. I love that it flattens down. I think David Moorfield is the one who kind of showed me this on his channel. Really small, really compact. If you just need a standard softbox just for one key light, this is great to have because it's so small. It's really easy to travel with. So I have that. This is just a big, newer lantern. I really only pull this out if I'm in a scenario where I need to light up a lot of a room and I don't have a ton of space to throw up bigger diffusion, or if I'm sort of at like a round table and a lot of people are talking and need to light a bunch of people evenly, sort of boom this lantern in over the middle and get that classic look. So I keep this on hand. I went with a newer one, just once again, budget. It was cheaper. I don't use it that often. It does a great job for me. This right here is sort of really the foundation of my light modification kit. And this is the Westcott Scrim Gym system. So I've used this in a bunch of videos. You've seen this in a bunch of videos, but I have enough pieces here to do 2 4x4 frames or 1 8x frame. And that gives me a lot of flexibility and versatility on set to do a lot of different setups. And then these are all the pieces of diffusion or modification that I have for this system. So it is a Velcro system. So each one of these different pieces of fabric have Velcro already sewn into it. There's Velcro on all the posts, on all of the framing, so it makes it really easy. This is an 8x8. I have a 4x4 black floppy that I can use. I guess 4x4 and then it flops down. So what does that make it? A 4x8? Or anyways, a black floppy, just some really thin quarter stop, 4x half stop, 4x. It's just 4x black on one side, just sort of a really nice unbleached bounce on the other. And then I have this silver on one side, white on one side, reflector that I'll use a lot in my booklight setups as my bounce. So really nice to have all that flexibility. I can throw up a T-frame with just 2 of these bars to hang the big 8x off, set up a booklight with this 4x bounce. And it just gives me a lot of versatility to tackle bigger lighting projects in a way that is still really manageable, that I can transport in my car. But I don't have to have these big 8x pieces of frame. I don't need a whole grip man. It's small, it's easy to set up. I can manage it by myself, and that's why I love it. Is it the most robust in the world? No, it's not. Would I want to use it in strong winds or really high up overhead? No, probably not. But once again, this is a kit that I've designed for myself because I'm largely working as a solo operator, and so I don't need something like if something is going to need to be that robust, I probably shouldn't be operating it by myself anyway. So this has been good enough for me, largely indoor work, and when I do outdoor, I just put a ton of sandbags on and I make sure it's not a windy day, and so far it's been so good. So the last couple things I want to talk about in this video are just a couple of these final little accessories. Just a boom pole with a nice mic holder. That's obviously just for booming a shotgun mic out over an interview. You have to have that. This is my gimbal. This is a DJI RS3, I think a 3 Pro, maybe. I don't know. It's a great gimbal. It does a great job for me. I honestly don't love using gimbals, but there are absolutely shoots where you kind of have to have it. And so when I need it, I have it and I know how to use it, and that's great. So that's that gimbal. This actually has been awesome. This is the Sax Cine bag. Put the camera on it, just hangs over your shoulder. Helps you get just really beautiful handheld footage. I use the thing a lot whenever I'm doing handheld work that's not on a gimbal. I'm pretty much always using this. And I always bring it on shoots, even if I'm not gonna be doing handheld work, because sometimes it can just work as sort of like a low down tripod. You just put this on the ground, put the camera on it, and it just gives you another option for a different kind of camera angle, a different frame. Then I do have, it's just this small slider. I hardly ever use it, to be honest, but on the projects where I needed it, it has just kind of really elevated the footage that much extra. And it's something actually creatively I would love to start using a little bit more. So I do have it, sometimes I use it. Those are kind of the accessories that I generally have. Of course, then I have all sorts of other grip equipment, C-stands and light stands and combo stands and all that stuff, tripods. I'm not showing that for the sake of this video. If you want to see sort of more of a breakdown on that, let me know and I can kind of go into some of that other grip equipment, different clamps, all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, this is the kit that I use, that I rely on when I'm going on a paid shoot, when I have to be able to deliver. I trust this gear. I've put this gear through its paces. I've tried to buy all of this as economically as possible. I guess this doesn't have to be said. None of this is sponsored. I bought all this with my own money. I've gotten almost all of it either on sale or secondhand or open box, marked down in some way. So there are definitely deals to be found out there. And I should say as well, you know, by no means, if you're just starting out, do you need all of this gear, right? It is a crazy luxury to have all this, and there are people out there making way better videos than I make with way less gear. So definitely don't fall into that trap. I know YouTube loves to talk about gear. I love to talk about gear, but you absolutely don't need it. This is just what I have. Wanted to share that. Thought it might be helpful. Love to hear from you what gear you love, what gear you've been relying on, what you think of my kit. Let me know. I mean, you can either tear it apart, roast me down in the comments, or just let me know if there are pieces about it you appreciate. So appreciate hanging out, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.